Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's start our today's session. In our previous session, we have talked about the particular list. Okay, right? So we have talked about the types of list, right? In that, we have talked about ordered list that is denoted by OL, right? Unordered list that is denoted by UL, right? And description list or definition list. So that is mainly denoted by DL, right? And in that we are using DD, DT, and DD, right? So this you have to remember: order list for OL, unordered list for UL, definition list, data term, okay, and data definition for DD, right? And here for list items, we are using LI, right? To list the items. So we have discussed about this. After that, we have discussed about the table tag, right? In table tag, there is a TR and TD. This is for row, this is for column, right? After that, we have discussed about the T head, T footer, and T body. So this is for defining the structure of a table, right? So this is optional, but it is a good practice to write this, right? For better understanding and better descriptions, right? Apart from that, we have seen row span, call span, right? Cell spacing and cell padding, right? So all these particular thing we have discussed in our last session. Okay, right? This is very important. That's why I have repeated once again. Okay, now let's go for another important topic, that is say for HTML forms, right? So first of all, let's understand how the forms are working, and then we jump onto the designing, right? So the first of all here, a user, or you can say the client, is there, right? Here we have a browser, right? So in a browser we have our web page, right? So user inputs some data through these browsers. After that, that particular data goes or sent to the servers, right? Via HTML form, via HTML form, right? Now this server sends this data to form processing, right? So here we are getting a server side logic. So this is our server side logic, right? So that can be done in a various way. We have seen for that any server side programming language is required. So we are here talking about the PHP. So your form is going to process by writing some logic into the PHP. If it is using some database, so that particular thing will come over here that fetches the data from this database again, right? And that data filled in the in the particular HTML document that sends to the server, and that particular output comes to the user here, browser, right? And user is able to see the output. So this is the overall scenario of the particular form processing, right? So this way the form is processed. Again, user inputs some data through HTML form. That data goes to the web server, right? That particular data processed by any server side programming language, and it is also attached with the database. So it fetches some data, comes back, as a response of HTML document, and then user is able to see the particular output, right? So now this particular portion, we are not going to talk about right now, right? We are not going to talk this particular portion right now. We are also not going to talk about the server right now, right? So what we are talking about, we are talking about the forms. We are talking about the forms because right now we are dealing with the HTML, and HTML, as we know that it is used for structuring. It is used for structuring, right? So how we can design the particular form to take some input from the user, right? For that purpose, we are designing the HTML form to send this data to this particular server for the further processing, right? So this is the overall scenario we have. Now let's go to the each and every detail things to design a particular HTML form. So first of all, we require a form tag. First of all, we required a particular form tag. Here you can see. So the form is just another kind of HTML tag. So form tag we are going to use. Forms are used to create rather primitives for GUI on the web page, obviously, right? So without GUI, another way is you can input your data from the console, but it is not required. It is not possible. So we are going for GUI. So form is another form of to create a GUIs on the particular web page. What is the purpose? So usually for the purpose is to ask the user for information, and then this information is sent back to the server for further processing, right? Now form contains the form elements, right? So what are the elements? So here, this is our form tag and it contains some parameters, right? So let's jump on to again in a detail thing. What is the meaning of this? Okay, now form contains the elements. So what is the meaning of elements? So whatever GUI widgets or controls we are using, that are called form elements. So buttons, checkboxes, tag fields, radio button, drop down menus, right? So I hope you know the meaning of each and every and usage of each and everything, right? So it is very easy to understand this. Now other kind of tag can be mixed with form elements. Okay. Now form usually contains a submit button. So here we are going to see there are three types of button we can create. Right now, remember, one of these is submit button to send the information in the form elements to the server. So whenever you are designing some form, here are some data and this is my submit button. So whenever I click on this button, then my data is going to send to the server. Okay. Now the form's parameters tells JavaScript how to send the information to the server. Okay, there are two different ways it could be sent, right? So either it is using get method or using a post method, right? Now form can be used for other things such as GUI for a simple program. So here you can see that after filling the information in the particular form, you need to send that data to the server. So for that, there is submit button, right? So when you click on a submit button, then you can send the data. Now, how your data is going to be sent? So either it is a get method or post method. And we are using HTTP protocol that we have already discussed. Okay. Now, what are the parameters or you can say arguments we are going to pass in the particular form, right? So the first is action. The first is action. Another one is a method. Okay. So action means a URL. Here you have to provide a path. You have to provide a path. So specific where to send the data when submit button is clicked. Okay. So as we know that when you click on a submit button, the data is going somewhere, right? But where it is going? So for that, you have to provide a particular URL. So, okay, on this particular location, you just send the data. Okay, that particular URL may be your particular path or a single file, right? Suppose if you are using some PHP, so suppose my form is action.php. So when I click on a submit button, okay, so that particular data will go into the action.php file. Okay, right? If you are using some path, then you have to provide the fully qualified path, right? But when action, after clicking the submit button, where you want to send the data, that you have to provide with the action. Now here another important method argument is that is called the method. Now we have a two methods. This you have to understand very carefully, guys, right? Because you will require this in a future also when we learn PHP. So two methods we have, get and post. So get is the default one, right? And the post. Now, what is the primary usage of each of these? Or you can say, what is the difference between get method and the post method, right? So if we talk about, first of all, a get method, then whenever you are using a get method, then the data, whatever, suppose say for example, I'm sending first name and last name. So that data is going to be appended in a URL in this particular format. So after question mark, your data will be there. After question mark, your data or your information is going to appended to the end of the particular URL, right? So I will show you when we talk about the example. But right now, just remember this. Whenever you are using get method, your data is going to be, form data is going to be appended at the end, right? It is also known as a query string. Query string, right? So now the second thing is, it can be used only if the data is in ASCII format or not more than 100 characters. Means there is a limitation. There is a limitation. So in a limited amount of data only can be sent through get method. Suppose instead of username and password or first name and last name, I'm filling up the registration form, right? So registration form can contains a lots of information, right? If that registration form is also connected with another form, right? So if you have observed, there are section of forms. So this is one section, this is another section, and this is third section. So this is the overall form, right? This is your form. And in that form, this is section 1, section 2, and section 3. So basic information, educational information, and work information. Suppose this kind of form is there. So you can see that this particular form contains a lots of data, right? So in that case, you cannot go for the get method. In that case, you have to go for the particular post method. So in a post method, there is no limitations, right? So as much as data you can send according to your requirement. Okay. Another one, whenever you go for the post method, then this particular thing, form data is not going to appended at the end. Only the URL will be there. Okay, right? Now, what is the purpose of? Another important is the security aspect. It is a security aspects. So here, whenever you are not connected with any kind of security aspects, and if you want to send a small amount of data, then you should go for a get method. Whenever a security concern is there, and if you want to send a large amount of data, then you should go for the particular post method. Okay, now what is the meaning of security purpose? So here, our data is going to be appended at the last. So if you have heard about SQL injection, so this is one of the method of hacking. right? So whenever you are going for SQL injection, at that time, this particular data is vulnerable, right? So here, the particular hacker will fetch the data from this kind of URLs. Okay, so there is a security threat. There is a security threat when you go for a GET method, right? So those information, those are not very much important or not comes or not belongs to the security aspects. Only those limited amount of data can be sent with the GET method. Otherwise, you should always go for the POST method. So this is the all about GET and POST method, right? So this is very important, guys. You will require this in a future when we go for a PHP. Okay. Now another important parameter we have, third one is a target, right? So what is the meaning of target? So here same target what we have learned in our anchor tag. So that is applicable. So I'm not going to repeat this again. When you want to open a form in a new window, then you should go for a blank, underscore blank or underscore self you should go for. Okay. And top and parent is also there whenever you are going for a frame. Okay. So three attributes you have to remember, guys. One is the action, other one is the method. Action is equals to URL, method is equals to get or post, anyone. And the third one is the target. Target has a 4 possible value. In that we have underscore blank and underscore self. Self is a default one, so you should only define the underscore blank. Okay, so form contains these 3 important attributes. These must be there whenever you are defining a form tag. Are we clear with this, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Now we have discussed about the form tag. So let's go for the particular inputs. Now I want to put some elements. Like suppose I want to design a login form. So in that login form, I want username and password, 2 labels, 2 text box, and 1 button, right? So these are the elements, controls, widgets, anything you can say, right? So how you can put these controls in a form, right? So for that, we have an input tag. So for that, we have input tag. So with the use of input tag, we can put these kind of elements, right? So first of all, you have to define a form, parameters. This is your closing of a form. And in that, you can define inputs. And define inputs. Okay, so with the use of input, you can define the different elements. Now, let's talk about the particular attributes of the input tag or elements attributes of the input elements. So the first is a type. So whenever I'm going to define input, right? So what kind of input I want to put? So here type is equals to, suppose I want to go for a submit button. So submit, right? Suppose I want to go for a text box. So text, right? So type attributes it is must be there. Type attribute is required attribute. That's why I have written required attribute over here, right? Name. So name is again important parameter we have. Suppose if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons or a text box. So how I can define this is first name, this is last name, etc., etc. So for that, you can define a name. So give a proper name to particular elements. So it gives the unique identifications. right? So each input field must have a name attribute to be submitted. Are we clear? The second thing is value, right? So the value indicates the value that input element sends to the server upon a submission. Okay. Next attribute is the size attributes. So how many characters you want? Suppose I am creating a text box for a particular first name. So 30 character is enough. 30 or 50 character is enough. કોઈનું નામ 1000-2000 character long ના હોય, right? So in that case, suppose if you want to restrict, so at that time you can go for this kind of size and maximum length attributes. Okay, if suppose I define password must be 8 characters only, only 8 characters maximum. So max length is equals to 8. Okay, so that kind of you can say restrictions you can put in this. Apart from this, you can put a lots of restrictions with the use of JavaScript. But these are the important attributes related with the input tag. Okay. Now, another two important attribute is read only and disabled. So suppose if you want to put a particular text box as a read only, user cannot modify it. Right. So here you can see that I have put one example. Our input type is a particular text. So this is a one text box, right? Name, there's a first name. So it's a first name and the value is the particular name. So it is over there. Right? Now here I have provided a read only value. So I cannot modify this name. Okay, so only that particular name is going to be considered. So that is the meaning of read only. Next is a disabled. Suppose if I want to disable this particular control, right? So this particular control will be disabled. So whenever you click on it or whatever, you cannot do anything. So that kind of things if you want to set, so that also you can set, right? So this is about the attributes of particular input elements. Okay, now let's go ahead. So we have talked about the form element and attributes, input element and attributes, right? So now we have setup ready. Okay, first we have to define a form tag, in that required attributes, and then we are going for input. So let's see different types of inputs. So here in this example, I have put one demo form, right? So in this, we will see this particular example when we discuss it. But right now, remember how you can define it. So first of all, you have to go for a form tag. Okay, you have to define action. Suppose if here I am putting has, then no action will be there because that particular page is not there. So my page will be refreshed and in the same fashion. Second is a method. Third one is a name. You can also define, and you have to define a name of a form, right? Now, I want particular college name and a city. So for that, I have defined inputs. 3 inputs I required. One is a college name, another one is the city, and third one is the submit button. Okay, so here you can see that in an input there is a type and name, and type and value. Okay, so here this will generate a form like this. This is a college name, this is a city, this particular text box, and there is a submit button. There is a submit button, right? So it will generate this kind of output. Okay, right? So let's see this particular form first of all, so you will get the idea. Okay, so this is our first form. I hope it is visible to everyone. Okay, now here our HTML structure will be there. There is no change in that. Now we have to define a form tag within a body tag, because that is the main content of our web page. So here you can see that these are the particular attributes we have defined as we have discussed. Now, if I see the preview, then you can see this kind of form will be there. This kind of output will be there. I know the output is messy, right? So how to prettify it, we'll see later on. But right now we are just dealing with the designing, right? Structuring, maybe what kind of inputs you can take. So this is a particular thing. This is the particular output of this form. So it's a very simple. Okay. Now let's jump back to our presentation. Here in this particular table, I have defined different attributes and its compatibility, right? So here you can see HTML 4.01 and HTML5. Okay, so this will be there. Okay, now let's go for field set. Okay, so what is the meaning of field set? You can see over here that we have defined a field set over here. After a form, we have defined a field set. In a field set, here we need to complete it. I'm putting a legend. I'm putting a legend, right? So what kind of you can say difference you will find when you go for a field set and the legend, right? So here you can see that it is used to group related elements into the HTML forms. Okay, so as I told you that earlier, if I have a form contains 3 different sections, one is a basic information, so that will be grouped in a one form. Then I have education information, so that can be grouped. I have work experience, work related information, so that can be in a third group, right? So form we have in a simple manner. This is our form, but I have divided into 3 different sections. So how can I show that, right? So for that, you can go for a particular field set and a legend tag, right? So here you can see that in our second example, here we have a field set, right? So here it will be finished. Another one, I want to define a different address. So here I am going for customer information. And after that, I'm going for the address details. Okay, here you can see that can be defined within a legend tag. So whatever title you want to provide to your group of elements, so that can be defined within a legend. So here you can see customer information, and here you can see address detail. In that you can put your controls. So simply we have name, address, phone number in a first section, name, phone number, current address, and or next address in a second one. Okay. Now, here in a field set, I have not provided any attributes, you can see. But over here in a field set, I have provided the style attribute. You can see over here. This is my style attribute. And in that, what I have defined, text alignment should be right. Text alignment should be right. Okay. Another thing, I have provided the width 120 pixel. Okay. Now let's to make a difference in between these two sections. I have done this. So let's see what is the output. So very nice output we have. You can see over here, right? So this is our section 1, customer information, and this is our section 2 that is called the address details. So whatever legends you are defining, so that will be defined like this. This is a border is going to created around your group of elements, and here it provides a name. It provides a name. Similarly, here there is a border for a group of element, and it provides a name, customer information over here. After that, this is left justified and this is right justified. So you can observe the difference between these two, right? So here in a left justified and right justified, if you want to make, then you have to define style attribute within a field set. Within a field set. So this is very nice example, guys, right? So field set is also used over here to make your form more informative. To make your form more informative. Okay, so this is about the particular field set, right? So I hope up to this, everything is clear to everyone. Okay, is there any doubt up to this? Anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay, good, right? So I'm going to stop this session over here.